EnVyUs. Now, based on their online play, there was an MLG 2K that took place, I believe, on December 11th, which ended up actually going GosuCrew's favor. They ended up winning that one 3-0 over Team EnVyUs. You know, obviously, like you said, like Fox mentioned, you know, the Call of Duty Championship winners. I mean, they're literally, you know, they won the biggest tournament of all time, and that was only a few months ago in the previous title. So this is not at all going to be an easy pool for the side of GosuCrew, because once you have, you know, EnVyUs to face off against, next matchup you have is FaZe Clan, who looks to be one of the top teams in the game by far.
Yeah. A real rough start for them starting into the tournament here. Not a rough start, but like just a rough couple of matchups.
Absolutely,
I mean, you're going against some of the best that we have to offer here in the North American Call of Duty World League in the form of EnVyUs and FaZe. And the form of what these players are in right now, it's definitely a scary sight. So we'll take a look at the rig draft here very quickly. Lots of standard stuff going on both sides here, except we are seeing FTL jump on the side of the GosuCrew on the left. The names are actually backwards there. I apologize for that. But for the most part, we're seeing our reactive armor, overdrive, rewind, active camo. A lot of the more effective payloads in these respawn game modes, so expect to see those come into play when breaking hard points.
It's very interesting to see Persini actually go with FTL jump. Normally he's kind of an overdrive type of player that likes to rock that one, but it seems that for breakout, it looks like he has different plans. So of course, loading in here to game number 1, it will be breakout hardpoint. To kind of go over the maps for you guys, breakout hardpoint will be map number 1, S&D on retaliation for game number 2, uplink on frost for game number 3. If it comes down to it, map number 4 will be hardpoint on throwback. And if we see that game 5, it could be over on Scorch for some search and destroy. Without further ado, it's time to hop into this game number 1, EnVy versus GosuCrew. Fox, who are we going to start on board with first?
I want to take a look at what we've got going on the side of Team EnVyUs, who will actually be your team in red this time instead of your boys in blue. So keep that in mind when you're taking a look at the scoreboard and the kill feed and that mini-map. The red arrows and the red names will be your boys on Team EnVyUs. So I want to start things off with Slasher, who's actually going to be rocking the EnVy for his team. Look for a player like Slasher to be just the best zoning AR in the entire server. And unfortunately for the enemy team, they're going to start off with a team kill. Arsenes tries to make up for it by finding those 2 kills. Slasher in a solid position to respond with 2 of his own, and now expect him to push up towards loading. Yeah,
complete control for the side of EnVyUs. We do have to mention, of course, the recent update that went through. In some ways, kind of middle box kind of turns into roof, essentially, as obviously the hard points have kind of changed up a little bit, but everyone's focus, besides this first hard point, is going to be obviously over in cell block, which it seems that EnVyUs currently have those preferred spawns, as it will be, it looks like GosuCrew finally getting a few points on the board.
And Arsenes, the player for GosuCrew, to take down Slasher off of that power position on loading. He jumps up the top cube, gets some hill time, a couple of kills to his name before going down. Excellent usage of his life there. So let's stick on board with him off the respawn. 3 players for GosuCrew surrounding cube here. They got a trophy system down, trying to take Slasher off the power position. The EnVy4 so difficult to answer to in that spot. And now we see the rotation come in. All the players rotating over to the new hardpoint. Team EnVyUs is already there. I don't expect to see these guys slow in a rotation at any point in time in this game.
Yeah, there are actually a few quotes that were brought up, you know, in interviews from the side of GosuCrew, and they were saying, you know what, we're a very aggressive team. We're willing to push if we're one shot. We're willing to push so many different things, which can kind of come into your favor at some points because you're obviously kind of catching your enemy off guard. When you're playing against a very known squad in Team EnVyUs, guys who have been in countless tournaments, JCap especially, and as well as John, these guys are used to those things. They've played in so many different series. I don't really think there's going to be a whole lot that GosuCrew can kind of throw at them that they're not going to expect, but it is about effort, and it seems that JCap and the boys from Team EnVyUs do have a little bit of a lead, but GosuCrew is starting to bring this one back a little bit, as they do have current control instead of cell block, but that one is going to be contested. John coming from the side, gets shut down, and 3 go down for the side of EnVyUs. Looks like the rotations is what's going to be on their mind here, as GosuCrew get a great hold there.
Yeah, awesome hold there. We saw JCap and company take that initial time on the hard point, but they got wiped out, and GosuCrew was able to mount up quite a bit of time there on both pushes that EnVyUs attempted, and now we're seeing rotation come in. We're heading over towards rocks again. We see that Team EnVyUs has the initial time. John's going to toss out just a predictive nade with the flechette grenade there. Flechette is how you pronounce that grenade.
It's French, I'm sure it is. I know.
That's something, but it's definitely something else. John taking point. He's going to put a couple shots down range, not able to finish the kill until just then, but now you look at your kill feed. All 4 players dominating the scoreboard on the side of Team EnVyUs. It's 4 kills in a row. That should mount them a good bit of time with this new spawn system, forcing GosuCrew to spawn way out. Gunless and Drama, though, are going to be the first ones to open these engagements. John is the next line of defense. However, being outnumbered and outgunned, he's taken down. Gunless comes through. EnVyUs players coming up off of the respawn are able to answer to it. However, this is still awarding GosuCrew with hill time landed.
Indeed it is. And of course, only 15 seconds left to fight for over in Graveyard. The rotations coming over to Commissary will be taking place momentarily, but it seems that EnVyUs really want this push because they can kind of force their way through back helipad, which is going to be the main focus for the spawns. Of course, you know, you want to have those spawns when it comes down to this next hill. It can absolutely grab a lot of time if you have that one on the rotation. As EnVy starts to push through, John able to find one through that top room. The rotation actually coming in. Looks like it might actually win the spawns over. Now Drama's going to be the last alive. and it looks like he might actually be pushed here. Decides to back up. See the EnVyUs absolutely forcing the issue, completely overwhelming the side of GosuCrew off this first side.
And so you notice here this time, it wasn't EnVyUs that gets the initial time, but they were right on the heels of GosuCrew as they were rotated, opened up with those 2 kills, and that made that 4v2 situation just that much easier for them. So now Apathy sitting pretty. He's going to be the one holding wall run, not seeing too much action, as it looks like the push is coming from behind them. John, though, guns 2 players. Slasher helping him out, closing out the 3rd. So now let's see if there's going to be any action on the wall run side of things. No push coming in just yet from GosuCrew as they spawn way out. Let's see the eyes up. Let's see the game through the eyes of the GosuCrew as they decide how they're going to push this up. He comes towards wall run. JCap, though, gets a little aggressive, shuts him down. All 4 players on Team EnVyUs are on streaks at the moment, and that's when they're most dangerous. They will not choke on any advantage you give them. They will take full advantage of that and just run straight through you.
Apathy actually running an MP4, which is kind of interesting to see. I'm not sure if he actually picked that one up or was actually working that one as far as a loadout is considered. But still, this is some interesting stuff we're seeing from GosuCrew. Not really having much of a response here so far, Fox, as it seems that it is completely overwhelming them. The slang coming in. We talked about that 3-piece, or I think 2, and I think an assist that John got back helipad. It seems that their shots are on full force here. A team that really struggled at the beginning of Infinite Warfare, constantly getting 100-point club, and the weapon draft was introduced, guys who really couldn't find their role. Of course, they are facing off against what is known as an online team, technically, in GosuCrew, but they're making slight work of them right now. They already have a 100-point lead, and as rotation's getting ready to come in here shortly, about 20 seconds, Gosu have got to make something happen. They've got to get the slang underway because this one's starting to get out of hand. Yeah,
and I mean, we were discussing this team yesterday a little bit, Landon. We were talking about some of the strength that can come from the twin brothers on the side of GosuCrew, Pristini and Arcides. Some of the strengths that we've seen from Pristini and Black Ops 3, they're not showing in this first map here. Maybe it's nerves, maybe it's just the fact that this is a tough hardpoint matchup, but Pristini's currently 5-17 triple negative, and he's someone that we said was probably the most talented player on this roster if we just take into account his form in Black Ops 3.
Oh, without question. I mean, when we talked about the run with Apotheon back and actually qualifying for champs, I believe they actually had a pretty decent placing for what they were. I think around maybe a top 12 placing between the two. So, I mean, they're used to this high-pressure situation. They've literally been to the biggest tournament of all time. But when you think about it, oh my God, his Apathy
fully
shuts them
streaked
down.
out.
He says, welcome to my reticle, as it's going to be 4 down for the side of GosuCrew. It's in the Team EnVyUs rivaling on. But like I said, I mean, they've been to the largest tournament ever. I mean, I think when you talk about maybe drama in Gunless, I mean, they maybe haven't been there, but the issue's coming with Pristini without question. 6-19, drama 9-13. I mean, this is just absolutely dominance coming in from the side of Team EnVyUs. The boys in blue, who are currently in red, are just absolutely wiping away them.
And despite being, able to go to the largest tournament of Call of Duty Black Ops 3, you can still have issues with nerves. There are some players that still get nervous, especially if it's your first match of the day, and it just so happens to be against the best team in the world, Team EnVyUs. So I feel like that's a pretty intimidating thing to go to, especially if you're someone that's on the up-and-coming side of things in that amateur scene. It's not a very easy thing to stomach when you're trying to become a professional player and you establish yourself in the scene. So we're going to see Apathy pop that rewind, get some of his health back after being tagged up, and the push for this last 30 seconds they're looking for should be an easy one with so many score streaks and so much utility on the side of Team EnVyUs.
Absolutely, you've got score streaks. One of them score streaks potentially as 3 go down yet again for the side of GosuCrew. John and the boys from Team EnVyUs kind of rivaling on. In fact, they've most likely taken this game. I mean, only a few seconds left before they can kind of close this one out. See kind of potentially what the score can get to. Maybe 70, maybe 80 potentially, but it seems that all of them are absolutely on point. Like I said, maybe a little bit of a slow start for GosuCrew. I believe I actually saw a tweet coming in, I believe from the side of Pristini, where he was saying he had a little bit of a delayed flight. He talked about nerves along with a lot of different things. Maybe the tournament, things kind of go the way they wanted to. They're not in a comfortable situation, but when you're put in situations like this, when you're put in the pool that you're in right now, where you have teams like EnVyUs and FaZe, Titans, and the Call of Duty community and the scene, I mean, it's definitely a major task they're going to have to try to take on here in this first tournament for IDES.
Oh, for sure. And we're talking about, flights or whatever issue it may be. That's just when you got to come in a little bit earlier. If you want to guarantee that you're here on time, you can't predict the weather unless you're a meteorologist or something. But I mean, that's just something you gotta understand is possible and can happen. But here it is, EnVyUs opening it up, opening the entire series up regardless with a dominating lead. And we see the camo get popped by Slasher. He's going to run in with the Hornet. Easy hip-fire kill. Very difficult to hit someone with that new and improved camouflage. And he's going for his second engagement. Not going to win that one. Hornet versus Hornet. Pristini's going to win it and find a triple kill. I don't think oh, no, never mind.
Oh,
there we go.
He took out his teammate.
We found the triple kill.
There you go. There you go.
He finally got it.
You get awarded.
He team killed, but he still found the triple somehow.
Yeah, I mean, it happens regardless, but You know, obviously taking the name of Team EnVyUs for this game, maybe they're feeling a little bit more confident, but still, I mean, you know, granted, they're getting a few points here and there, not taking anything away from the fact that they're doing that. They're making some good plays. We can definitely see the side of Team EnVyUs realizes they only have 5 more seconds. I mean, if they play this correctly, you know, Slasher ends up in some ways kind of wasting active camo. I mean, he gets kills for it, but no time awarded to it. But as you can see, the streak's starting to come in. A team kill from the other side, actually, from the side of Team EnVyUs, ends up going down. Of course, not a whole lot of points being awarded for the time being, but after it gets shut down from behind, of course, the nade potentially in return does a little bit of damage, and it seems that the final points will start to come through as they're only 2 seconds away. GosuCrew just trying to hang on for anything that they possibly can.
Another team kill coming in from Bristini with his score streaks there. JCap playing on the front line here. 2 players in front of him. Arcides, though, with the thrust jump just in front of Cube is going to be enough to take him down. John is able to find 2 kills before being traded out. EnVyUs needs to just hurry up and close out of this game. I highly doubt, you know, the possibility of Gosu coming back.
I mean,
right?
breakout. I mean, clutch plays have happened. We saw it in Phase in Orbit, but it's 2 seconds. So, yeah, maybe not. No, not feeling.
I mean, I think an early rotation is more than enough to just close this game out. We've already seen, this is also, now that we're back in the initial rotation of the hardpoint, this is where we would see JCap and company always beat them on the rotations, and there it is. He's in position, closes out the game right there, 250 to 153. We see Team EnVyUs take map number 1, despite what your scoreboard might say there on screen. It is Team EnVyUs is able to come out on top.
Of course, and I think honestly the score looks a lot better than it probably was. I mean, there was, well, I think they were down 250 or 240 to like 50 at some point. So a lot of points gained for the GosuCrew. EnVyUs was kind of coasting through that final half of the game there, but still an absolutely dominant victory, and one that if you're the side of GosuCrew, you know, maybe you could try to come back from this one. Obviously, you know, try not let that one affect you. But I think hardpoint isn't really one that they're most preferred in. I mean, when it comes down to more online squads or kind of amateurs that are kind of rising through the scene now, they kind of prefer the S&D type of gameplay. So we'll see how that kind of worked out for them. I believe game number 2 is going to be taking place over on S&D for Retaliation, excuse me. So we'll see how they can obviously try to do there. But like I said, it's very difficult for them. They're in a very difficult pool. FaZe Clan up next after this game. So a lot of pressure kind of being put on them. But we'll see how they do, obviously, in the Search and Destroy.
Oh, difficult is an understatement. They're going against the most experienced of veterans in the Call of Duty scene at the moment in their pool, and it really shows in that first map just how strong they can be right out the gates. EnVyUs not slowing down one bit, starting off this series 1-0. As you can see, your schedule is up on screen. We did just finish with the Rise Nation Team Revenge matchup. We're currently on Team EnVyUs versus GosuCrew, and what ended in a very one-sided hardpoint in favor of Team EnVyUs. Slasher, that incredible zoning AR that I mentioned, was just able to completely take over that game. And we saw, of course, John, who's just such an aggressive player, high multi-kill potential, just that frontline aggressor on the team, was able to contribute a whole lot in the objective column as well. And really, I'd say the objective was very evenly distributed throughout the team. And if we look at the side of GosuCrew, some pretty disappointing performances. I mean, we saw Pristini, who I mention all the time, was probably going to be one of the stronger players in this team. He showed a lot of potential throughout Black Ops 3. He's going to start off the game going triple negative for most of it. We had another player on the team with just only 20 seconds in the hard point. Another team with just 39, and you know, just not great looking stats on their side. A little bit of issues with coordination, just really them not winning their gunfights overall.
Yeah, and I think when it comes down to what their roles, what they've talked about in interviews and whatnot, they always say that, you know, Gunless is more of the objective player. He can also get the slaying done at times, but he's more of the objective player. He's going to get, you know, around 2 minutes of heal time a lot of times in the game. And Pristini is the main slayer for them. He's the guy who's going to challenge a lot of different things. He's going to be challenging things when he's one shot. I mean, just absolute all-out aggression. So when we kind of talk about their roles kind of swapping, it's definitely situations that they've not been in before, where Pristini's not dropping the numbers that he's used to, where, you know, Gunless is kind of getting kills when he shouldn't be getting kills. He should be letting his teammates kind of get that role done. Like I said, in the end, kind of sloppy play from the side of TGC, absolutely getting destroyed in that game number 1. Like I said, we kind of focus our eyes over on S&D. Retaliation is going to be the map. You know, do you think that, Fox, do you think we can potentially see TGC kind of close this one out? Of course, I think S&D is where they're going to be more comfortable on. I think that's going to be where they kind of maybe are a little bit more comfortable with, or they're kind of used to that one. But do you think that they can potentially make a comeback on S&D?
I think Search and Destroy at the moment, it's certainly possible, because right now Search and Destroy, it's a very experimental kind of game mode. We're seeing Infinite Warfare just being released. Also, within the past week, we've seen the bomb sites relocated. So that changes a lot of timings for opening strategies. That changes a lot of nade spots that you might be able to use previously. It changes a lot. And a lot of these teams are just kind of experimenting with a little bit of practice that they got on the new patch. So this is definitely a chance where GosuCrew could come out on top and take a map. However, when you look at the sheer talent on that Team EnVyUs roster, the odds are heavily stacked against Gosu.
Yeah, and I was actually seeing, you know, when it comes down to the bomb sites for Retaliation, of course, A is kind of being moved up toward that side street rather than curb. I'm seeing actually in that previous series between Rise Nation and Team Revenge, which ended up being a 3-0 inside of Rise Nation's favor, TR was really focusing heavily on that A site. You can definitely see a lot of teams when it comes down to LAN developing different strategies, trying out different things, and saying, you know what, maybe from online to LAN play, things are going to be a lot more different. And I'm curious to see how GosuCrew kind of maybe responds to the side of EnVyUs. Do they try to control the game? Do they play passive? But one thing I think they definitely need to be aware of is the fact of EnVyUs' aggression. I mean, when it comes down to pure slaying, a lot of times you're not going to be able to win that. And GosuCrew is used to completely dominating their opponents, getting 30 kills plus in different game modes, even in uplinks as well. So I think they're going to have to kind of play to EnVyUs, but in some ways, I know this is something that we've even seen in CS:GO, where certain underdog teams will say, you know what, we come into every game without respecting the other squad. We come into every game without respecting the other squad. Of course, you can have respect for them, but play your game. Do not result in playing the other team's game is over. Say, we did the best that we could. We did our strategies, and just didn't work out. Instead of saying, well, we played to EnVyUs' role. They weren't pushing the A side a whole lot. Do things that you're comfortable with, and I think if they do that, they can definitely make this a very closely contested game.
It's also really difficult when you've got a player like John on your team, because essentially it becomes 5 versus 4 at times.
Really
the man is just a threat, right? There are just so many instances where he'll take 1 or 2 players with him at the cost of just his own life, right? He's just able to do so much for the team in Search and Destroy, and I fully expect to see those skills translate from Black Ops 3 over to Infinite Warfare. John, a huge, huge factor for this team and their strengths in that game mode. So as we get into our rig draft here, we're seeing a lot of standard stuff on both sides. Overdrive, reactive armor, rewind, active camo. Again, the more effective and more frequently obtained payloads in Infinite Warfare. You should expect to see them on both sides.
Indeed, you should, of course, accept retaliation. Game number 2, Gosu. In some ways, obviously your backs are against the wall because it only is 1-0, but you've definitely got to have a dominant performance in the Search and Destroy. Really just a win in general after that dominant performance that Envy was able to put forward. So, different type of class there, the R3K. Different classes. Of course, you got 10 of them, but potentially we'll see some interesting strategies come out for the side of GosuCrew, as it seems that it will be, I believe, Gosu on the offensive side. To start things off, Fox, who we're going to be on board with first?
So it seems RC's actually put the R3K away. Let's go on board with the winning team right now. I think John, I talked him up quite a bit. EnVyUs has a hot hand with winning that first map and really just being the best team in the world. So I'm looking forward to see what he can do in the opening break of this map.
Yeah, it seems like we're making a push here over toward that A site. Sniper actually running out there from John. Spawning in toward Bar. Not going to spawn anyone here off the break, but gunfight's going down off the start. Nothing happening as far as kills are concerned here, but that mid-street push coming from GosuCrew seeming to be halted for the time being as John goes on the wall run. Can he find the kill? Nearly able to find that one for that first blood. While shots are coming in, no kills happening. Just as I say that, 2 go down. Archie's and Pristini's, the brothers, drop for those first 2 kills.
This sniper rifle in the hands of John is stacked with attachments at the moment. 3 different ones. We're going to see him pull out the pistol, get some mid-range shots down on Gunless. He's able to shut him down. Now, 3 versus 1 situation. John is waiting for the trade, expected Drama to be there. However, he comes at him from a different angle coming into the lobby. Running out of ammo here. He's going to have to reload and get out of there ASAP. He's tagged up. They know where he's at. A little bit of ammo, but they're not going to push him. They know he has the advantage in those close choke points, so they don't even want to bother challenging that.
Looks like John coming from the side. He's going to spot him. Jacob ends up dropping from behind, and John needs to win this gunfight. Thankfully, he has a K-bar in hand. Of course, 25 seconds left. Of course, John spotting the bomb, trying to play the angles correctly. It seems that Drama not going to be anywhere near that bomb, so it looks like he's going to be trying to go for the kill, it seems. He is in market. He's not going to have time to actually plant the bomb down, but he spots Drama from behind. If he can get this 1 versus 3, it's going to be absolutely big, and Drama's able to win it. The 1 versus 3 for round number 1. Gosu get exactly what they needed. The mid-street push looked a little bit awkward at times, but Drama's able to clutch it up in the end.
Drama catching players from behind on multiple different occasions in that last 30 seconds of the round. And he's able to end it with a clutch round for his team as they go up 1-0 versus Team EnVyUs. And we didn't really see too much of an impact from that sniper rifle of John. He whiffed his first shot and was pretty quickly overwhelmed with mid-range and close-range engagements after that.
As we hop into round number 2, curious to see what EnVyUs does provide. Of course, Apathy can be Valkyrie off the start. Drama in bedroom, obviously going to spot a bit of a push here coming over to that site. Like I said, Apathy with a bomb in hand. There's 2 going to be inside of Bike Shop. Looks like 1 going to be jumping for that first blood. RC's actually rocks the R3K in the first blood, able to make it happen. So EnVyUs kind of put at a stoodstill here over in Cat Slasher, able to respond with that one over on Gunless. And the shots are continuing to go down. Slasher finds 2 so far. Drama going toward this plat. It's going to actually be behind the entire team. So it's going to be a huge flood of Drama is in, but he drops from the side. Pristini, can you potentially make it happen? 1 versus 3 now in Pristini's hands. Your teammate did it before. Can you make it happen in this round number 2?
Pristini has access to a secondary weapon alongside that NV4. should see him viable at all ranges. However, in this 1 versus 3 situation, it's going to be pretty difficult, especially with Apathy already setting up and posturing for this bomb plant. There it is, 3 versus 1. It gets shut down, and EnVyUs is able to tie it 1-1. Not throwing their lead this round, Landon.
Not this time, but you know, potentially see it happen. But just good overall control from JCap. They kind of realize, you know, when it comes down to planning over on this A site, it's a lot easier to kind of control a lot of different angles whenever there's only one player alive. So good overall communication for the side of Team EnVyUs. The rotation comes in, and obviously the round is won. No 1 versus 3s this time. But you're going to see what GosuCrew can potentially respond with here. Drama, there you go. If we grab the bomb, it seems they are going to be making a typical B hit, but it seems the EnVyUs squad might actually be thinking an A hit is underway. So that mid-lobby control is going to be very, very important when it comes down to seeing which side GosuCrew is going.
All right, no opening nades coming out from anyone on the side of GosuCrew, unless we just saw the flash shot grenade come out there. But John is able to find a kill on the Drama. Let's see if he gets traded. Slash is going to be the one that actually falls after that. So now we're back to a 3v3. It looks like there's a flank coming in. If you look at the top left corner of your screen, Apathy, though, sniffs it right out and shuts him down. But there it is, the second engagement coming in. Can he win it? No, he gets shut down. Gunless finds the headshot from the height advantage. And now he's just going to try and get away. However, the bomb is going down. That's Arcides. Stops mid-plant, gets shut down by JCap. And now it's a 1 versus 2. JCap has to find it, but he can't. GosuCrew outnumbers him. And efficient trading wins them the round.
That was kind of an interesting round to see, because obviously they hit that B site. John finds the first blood. It seems that GosuCrew was kind of put a little bit of a standstill, but it ended up being actually really good placements from Gunless there. Obviously sees his teammate trying to go for the bomb plant, happens to be in a dominant position over on that plat side, and is able to win the 1v1 engagement. So GosuCrew continuing to win these rounds, but in clutch situations. We'll see how that obviously does affect in the later parts of the game. I'm curious to see if we can switch over to Arcides. Does he have the R3K in hand? It seems that he does not. So the K-bar going to be brought out here. It seems that EnVyUs going to be on the offensive round here for round number 4.
All right, looks like some engagements might be going down soon. Oh no, he backs up. Player 3 there. That is Pristini. Was close to that B-bomb side engagement. There it is. He finds another one though. He peeking back in. He's able to take down John. And now he's going to try and get out of the action here for a moment. Looks like Gunless trying to work on this flank towards Cave. Slash is the one that finds the initial gunfight against Arcides there. And now Gunless has to be the one to look for the trade, but no, he gets shut down. The teamwork and coordination from EnVyUs to sniff out that flank. They're able to shut that down right away. 3 versus 1, bomb in hand. Pristini has the world against him at the moment.
Yeah, one of the top players for GosuCrew as far as slang is considered. Of course, multiple 1v3 situations. Currently 1-1 is GosuCrew in those engagements, but we'll see if Pristini can make something happen on that bomb head glitch. It's not going to be an easy gunfight in the slightest for Pristini. Firing through Graves. Looks like Pristini actually going to find a headshot, or almost a headshot there over on JCap. Spots him from that chest-high cover. ME4 in hand, and honestly, ME would be really smart just to say that there's no reason to challenge this right now. There's no reason for you to try to challenge this. It seems that in the end, EnVyUs is able to win the gunfight, but still, there's no reason to challenge that, right? I mean, I think you should really back up.
I think the idea was to bait him out because of the fact that he had right here Slasher overlooking him. So, you know, any way that he's going to challenge a Slasher can see the same thing. And then even if that player dies, Slasher's still in a powerful position to trade. So I think it was just them trying to end the round immediately instead of like allowing him to maybe flank or something or pull something crazy off. Just try and always keep a line of sight on him. I think that was the idea with that play there.
Potentially, yeah. And I think what was interesting that last round as well is that we saw a 2-man flank come in for GosuCrew, and it was immediately shut down on 2 players on head glitches. So GosuCrew, we talked about how aggressive they can be. Aggressiveness not really working out in that one, but Drama being aggressive here. And Bike Shot, can he win the gunfight? No, Slasher's been able to win that one with the K-bar in hand. Gunless quick to trade, as it seems that John shuts down Arcides as well. Proceeding with it still with the bomb in hand, as John able to find 2. It seems that he will be shut down, so a good round, I guess you could say, for GosuCrew, trying to be a little bit aggressive, but Envy sniffs that one out. They're able to obviously lock down major power positions over in Plat for this ending round kill, as well over in Bedroom. So nice round there from EnVyUs. Pretty stand round on defense, but that big kill from Slasher over Bike Shop, I think, is what really set the tone for that one.
Yeah, a big series of kills from John following that up was great as a response when he got traded. So EnVyUs, of course, taking advantage of that lead that they got, biting down onto it. JCap, though, looks like he's about to pop this overdrive. 3 enemy players pushing up towards the B side. Expect to see some combat here soon, just around the corner. But it looks like Apathy's the one closest to the action. First gunfight going down. Just 12 bullets left in his mag, though. Tags him up. John's still able to find the first blood. He's still around the corner for more action here at Landon.
John doing kills as he's able to help with help there from Slasher. Able to make that one happen. So nice sequence of kills coming in. Arcides 1 versus 4 gets spot up in top Bedroom. Not just overall dominance from Team EnVyUs. I mean, they completely lock it down. The help from Plat and obviously locking down that player inside the bedroom. I mean, EnVyUs completely playing that round. I think perfectly. I mean, honestly, Apathy's obviously challenges that one in Bike Shop, decides to back up a little bit. I mean, I think EnVyUs is playing perfect S&D for that round. That to me was a perfect round of S&D that they saw.
I think it's just EnVyUs. They're just so great at responding to these opening pushes coming from Gosu. As you see, every time Gosu executes their play, and then once they get to the point where it's like do or die, here's the gunfights, they turtle up. So many people are just hugging corners, you know, waiting for their health to regen, not challenging, not trading, and EnVyUs just stomps right over that weakness.
You can also see as well, as far as the rigs are considered, EnVyUs is going to have 3, nearly 4. John very close to his rig as well, so a lot of ability still to use with only 2 rounds left as they find 2 off the start.
When you spend most of the match dead, it's really hard to charge up that rig trait there, or rig payload there. Here it is, JCap on a flank towards...
Oh, Pristini!
Is he going to finish this gunfight?
JCap's
JCap's tagged up, pops the overdrive. Oh, that was a great play. He knew he was in trouble there. He had to pop the overdrive to confirm that kill. Otherwise, Pristini was going to build a highlight reel moment for himself.
I love that round because that to me is a perfect example of old school Call of Duty to new school Call of Duty. I mean, like I said, we talked about, you know, previous titles, you kind of back up, wait for engagements to happen. Like I said, when it comes down to Gosu, man, they don't care if they're a one-shot, they have 3 players in front of them, they're going to challenge absolutely everything. Unfortunately for them, that round not able to make it happen. EnVyUs only 1 round away from making this a 2-0 lead. Gosu, you got to find the magic. EnVyUs going to be on the offensive side, so they do have a little bit of advantage here coming in this round. But John, yet again, finds the first blood. Yeah,
first blood's all game from John. I mentioned just how strong of an asset he is to this team, and he's proven just that. 3 versus 2, though. Gunfight's going down in hallway. Apathy comes out on top against Gunless here, and he knows there's one just around the corner, waiting for his health to come up, though, before he challenges. He's going to pop the rewind. And this is just what happens when you're ahead by so much. Just that snowball lead that you get with those payloads can really pay off in a big way. We saw JCap was able to end the last round. Apathy was able to extend this one just a little bit longer by avoiding that unfortunate situation.
Arcity's got to try and make this clutch happen, especially with how dominant that Game 1 victory was. I mean, it's only typical if EnVyUs can close out this round that it would potentially be a 3-0, and he's not able to make it happen. EnVyUs completely steamrolling through these first 2 games as they're going to win Retaliation, Search and Destroy 6-2. And those 2 rounds that GosuCrew won were only on clutches. I mean, that was a 1v3 that we saw, and then a 1v1 engagement near Bike Shop. I mean, the only rounds that they won were very, very close situations that they maybe shouldn't have won. So essentially, if gunfights go, if there's a 50% chance that 1v1, there's a very low chance of winning that 1 versus 3. This easily could have been a 6-1, 6-0.
Yeah, I mean, EnVyUs, you can't, if that's what your win factor is going to be, is winning those clutch moments, you're not going to do that against a team that won't let you consistently clutch against them. EnVyUs can keep their composure. EnVyUs can respond to pressure, can respond to disadvantages, and it's showing right here as they end the game at 6-2. Team EnVyUs coming out on top in the 2-0 in this best-of-5 series.
Yeah, this is not at all good news if you're a GosuCrew fan. If you're a TGC fan, this is just not at all good news for you.
And if you're an EnVyUs fan, this is just par for the course. Of course they should be up 2-0 in this series.
I mean, it's expected, but like I said, there was an interview that obviously happened, I believe, from Deserto, talking with GosuCrew. I believe it was actually a meeting with Pristini, and he was saying, you know, do you guys consider yourself an online team? Because, of course, you've done very well online. You've made a lot of things happen.
I don't think anybody wants to consider themselves
but he said, yes, we're actually an online team. He says, until we prove ourselves on LAN, we're considered an online team. I thought that was a really good response. I mean, a lot of times you're going to see players who are typically online players by definition are saying, you know, no, we're good players. We're not going to let that stuff happen. But it's a very, you know, I think mature response. I mean, just being honest from him. He was saying, you know what, we're an online team. Until we prove ourselves on LAN, until we make major things happen, that's what we're being referred to, and we deserve to be referred to as that. So, obviously, you know, it's hard to kind of dictate as far as GosuCrew's, you know, game so far. I mean, it was only, not even a 7-minute search and destroy, 6-2 win for EnVyUs, a 250 to 153. Could have easily been a 100-point club there for EnVyUs in game number 1 as well. So, like I said, this is going to be a very difficult run that GosuCrew is going to have to make in this pool. But you know, they're being initiated pretty quickly in this event.
Yeah, and as far as like being an online team, back to that discussion a little bit. I think it also kind of depends on like where you draw the line, because that in and of itself is a very, I think, subjective kind of thing, right? Because I mean, if we look at the guys on GosuCrew, it's not like they're unfamiliar with playing on LAN. I mean, we've seen Pristini and Arcity's on Apatheon Esports getting lots of praise from the European players at MLG Anaheim. We've seen Gunless, his time on Below Zero, trying to qualify for COD champs back in Advanced Warfare. And Drama, of course, we know him from the past couple of months, and he's had some time on Kingdom Esports and everything like that. And I think that I understand what they're saying, and what you mean, though, is that they're definitely not accomplished. I mean, especially when they're up against Team EnVyUs, who completely outranks them in really a lot of different categories. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, well, we'll see if GosuCrew can potentially make a little bit of a comeback. Like we said, down 2-0 to the dominance that Team EnVyUs is currently providing. It will be uplink over on Frost. Now we talk about, when it comes down to uplink, I like to kind of consider this GosuCrew, it's kind of similar to a TR type of style where they like to challenge a lot of different things, a lot of different strategies. Of course, that TR team back in AW, a little bit, obviously in Black Ops 3, of course, forming under the name of Elevate. Very, very strong when it comes down to the uplink game mode. By far one of the best uplink teams I think we've seen in past titles, especially back in Advanced Warfare. So we'll see if a similar squad to them in GosuCrew can potentially make this happen. But if we know anything about EnVyUs, the slaying to get done, Apathy and John, kind of the SMG, not really SMGs, but I'd say close quarter duo if you would kind of refer to Infinite Warfare. If they get the slaying done, JCap and Slasher, you see that zoning AR and Slasher, if you can lock down a dominant position, this could definitely be a 3-0 for EnVyUs.
Yeah, Slasher's certainly the sort of backline, slower assault rifle player on the team, and I think that play style really tends to him very well. Like he takes full advantage of that role and is a huge factor on his team in that regard. So, taking a look at Frost Uplink here, we have Team EnVyUs that I actually recently heard them on stream discussing how they're going to approach this map. Some of the things that they were talking about, they mentioned that sometimes they can have issues holding down that control around the ship, right? They sometimes have some issues around bringing the drone through there, which is exactly where you want to bring the drone most of the time is through that side of the map, right? They mentioned that when they're not able to do that, if they can't completely get it, when they have someone that's maybe able to match their slaying or things like that, they want to get mid-control because, hey, that's where the drone is, right? Yeah, as much as you want to take that drone through ship side, you need to also make sure that you're getting some sort of mid-map control. Otherwise, you're not going to get it when it's reset or when it's delayed.
Right, we also talk about that as well. The recent update coming through uplink portals being a little bit smaller. It doesn't really seem to be affecting teams too much, at least in the previous series that I was able to witness. Because when you're spawning from construction side, a lot of the times that's when the 2-point dunks are going to happen. But if you're spawning on red side, a lot of the times that's when those 1-point tosses coming through ice tunnel. If you want to go on that little ice ledge near blue side wall run, there's a lot of little 1-point opportunities can happen. So it looks like it will be, I believe, GosuCrew spawning obviously on that red side. So they have to make sure those 1-point tosses aren't going to be up there. Of course, looks like they're doing a little bit of 360s. Excited to be here.
Salute each other. Salute, sir. Salute.
Good luck, guys. We got to make this happen. It's not going to be an easy task, to say the least.
So here we are, again, looking at Team EnVyUs with their weapon composition. At the moment, we're seeing 3 K-bars and 1 OSA in the hands of Apathy, who actually just recently started using this weapon within the past 2 weeks. He's getting some tips from Slasher on what attachments and everything to run on it. So I'm looking forward to see what he can do with this. He's going to hit this lower wall run, toss some opening nades there. That should be able to connect with one of the enemy Gosu players just along the opposite side. Either way, he's going to get into space with the OSA, such a dangerous weapon at that range. And let's see if he can execute the rest of this flank, hitting that wall run, able to look over towards red.
And this is a typical route that Apathy likes to hit on this side. He's going to grab that drone here on this side. He's going to grab that drone here off the start, making that dark push. One player to kind of lead the way. It looks like happen is within the first 30 seconds, EnVyUs already have a 1-point score.
So Arcedes and Prestini are able to clear out the base after the 1-point play comes in. Let's see what their opening push looks like for the beginning. No one goes for the higher wall run, and it comes back to bite them as JCap finds an easy 2-piece within 1 burst of his K-bar. All the players are stacked on top of one another right there. Just made it easy pickings for JCap. No one from Team EnVyUs still capitalizing on that just yet, but JCap is going to do the most with it. He's going to get into a solid position for a flank and find himself a double kill.
We know how good how JCap can be with those tacticals and lethals, especially in previous titles. He's able to make it happen there. Gunfight's going down through ice side. He's gunless. Looks to try to push through blue. Looks like a few players down for the side of EnVyUs. 3 go down. Arcedes now with the drone in hand. Player just to gunless is left. We'll see if he's able to spot that one. Looks like he's not able to do so. So John wins that one. A few players going down from Gosu. Arcedes, you've got to make that scoring opportunity happen. He's able to knock it through, so Gosu with a good response. That's
going to be a 1-point play. We're all tied up 1-1 here. JCap, though, able to clear out the EnVyUs base. And so now we should see a fight for ship and mid control here. JCap, though, being tagged up. Can't really leave the home base just yet. Let's see what the rest of Team EnVyUs is able to do towards mid-map. John not able to get that gunfight win, but Slasher makes up for it, finding 2 kills. Gunless, though, is able to take him down. JCap responds, finally leaving his base on a 3-kill streak for the team. And this is where we've seen him a lot, is in and around Skinny and mid. So I guess it seems to be his job to sort of be the warden of this part of the map.
Talk about wardens, obviously he can give a lot of kills. We'll see if any wardens get earned in this series. But, not likely, but anything can happen, especially the dominant run that we've seen EnVyUs be on already. It wouldn't be out of the question. But JCap currently inside of top blue, shuts down 1. The nade actually gets that player weak, but 3 go down in total for the side of EnVyUs, 2 in response from Gosu. So Joan kind of remaining in that middle map. Only when we see a few players start to go down is when pushes have happened. So both teams remaining pretty good in man count, clutching and obviously flanking when they need to. With nades out constantly, JCap able to be awarded with another one. John finds that one as well, so 2 go down for either side. Looks like 3 go down for EnVyUs, so Gosu have an opportunity to potentially move that drone forward, but unfortunately for them, those players aren't really pushed up too far.
Apathy just trying to play a little bit of base defense here around bunker. Drama, though, is going to get the better of him as he finds that opening kill. Most kills on his team at the moment. Doing a lot of damage here with that flank. Finds 2 kills, and now he's a threat to the third. There he is. Connects with those shots. Drama here trying to push up towards Ice, but he finally gets taken down. Apathy off the respawn, smelling that blood, and takes him out. He's able to find himself 2 kills, but has to reload for his next engagement. Arcees says no, shuts him down before he can do so. And now, the objective not really going in favor of either team. They're just trying to sort of posture up towards the middle map here so they can get something going for themselves. The drone, though, now in the hands of Gunless. He's able to find an opportunity to do so. However, there's still EnVyUs players in his way, and he's getting tagged up in the back. The armor is just not enough to save him, Landon.
And he doesn't have any teammates around him. I mean, he's pushing that, and I can understand the push. You're trying to go for a 1-point toss. When you realize that team has just gone 3 toss, when you realize that team has just gone 3 down, they're going to spawn exactly there. And it seems that, you know, when you are the drone carrier, it's going to have a nice team push, which is exactly what EnVyUs is trying to do right now. Currently going through robots. It looks like John, the drone carrier, is going to drop. Big 3-piece coming in from Prasini. So, like I said, the team pushes really need to start coming in from the side of GosuCrew. You can't be pushing those 1 points by your lonesome. Darcy's it's going to go a little bit of a wall run. Same thing with Prasini, not able to win that one. But Arcee's still trying to maneuver around as he is trying to waste a little bit of time here, resulting in saying, you know what, we realize how talented EnVyUs is as a slaying team. We're just going to try to make sure that they aren't getting any slaying done, but it seems that Apathy will sacrifice his life to shut down Arcees as 3 go down actually for the side of EnVyUs. And
the only player alive for Team EnVyUs is Slasher, but he's in a nice power position here, trying to see if he can work his way to get behind the GosuCrew. This flank on Skinny has been the bane of their existence for getting mid-map control. And now we're seeing the drone moved in regardless, though Drama is already way ahead of him. He puts the 2-point play in, and no one is able to stop him as all of Team EnVyUs falls except for Slasher on his flank. If Team EnVyUs could have won their gunfights right there, that would have been a huge play and huge turnover in favor of Team EnVyUs. But we see Gosu is able to close out the play successfully.
Yeah, and John was able to get a huge ball, so we'll see if John can actually make something happen, as he is currently going to be stalled for the moment. But EnVyUs trying to force the issue forward. Actually less than 20 seconds left in this first side over on Frost uplink. But Prasini and the boys from Gosu actually doing a great job. Slasher finds 3. If Prasini can find this 1v1 gunfight, that could lock it down for the half, but it seems that the drone actually will be reset since no one grabbed it. That drone is going to reset back in middle. So after the first half, GosuCrew getting a little bit of momentum as they're going to have a 2-point advantage here coming into the second side.
I think the momentum really came from Prasini's ability to get multi-kills so far in this game. I mean, of course, after 2 or 3 kills, that's when EnVyUs is able to finally respond to him and shut him down, but that's still a good fraction of the entire enemy team, right? Coming from 1 player. So I think that we saw both scoring opportunities as a follow-up of Prasini's multi-kill. So if he can continue that, which isn't an easy thing to do against the likes of Team EnVyUs, that'll be great for their success.
Absolutely. Man of the match up to this point, especially for Gosu, has definitely been Prasini. We'll see if he can make some of those magic plays happen yet again as Drama watching that wall run side off the start to make sure the pinch is not going to be likely, but still.
No action, though.
Pretty slow start here off the start as JCap with that K-bar in hand. Looking forward.
Prasini middle map's able to find the first kill and connect with the second. Let's see if anybody's able to take him down. There it is again. After 2 kills, he's finally traded out. Slasher's the one to do it, and he finds 2 kills of his own. Heavy trades going back and forth. Lots and lots of chain kills, excuse me. And now Drama is going to be able to pick up the drone, but he's heavily outnumbered, and there's a wall of blue in front of him, so he's going to be shut down. The drone's going to fall to the ground, and it looks like Team EnVyUs is able to respond to that play pretty easily.
Absolutely. So good defensive plays when it comes down to spawning on that helipad or red side here for either team. Prasini going through tunnel, potentially actually has that one just off to his right, as it looks like GosuCrew slowly but surely starting to pick players off. Douglas starting to get involved with those gunfights. Unfortunately, gets involved with one just there and ends up dropping. So 4 down for the side of TGC. Apathy making his way forward. Slasher trying to be that lead blocker. This could easily be a 2-point dunk. Looks like along with that, that's going to tie the game. Rewind earn. It looks like it will be 2 rigs earned for the side of Team EnVyUs.
Yep, we have Rewind in the hands of Apathy, and in JCap we're going to see Overdrive, and that's perfect for him if he's the drone carrier. Even though it does drain 2 times faster with the objective, the amount of distance he's able to get in between the enemy team is great. However, no one's able to come up with anything on that play. 1 payload spent, and Gosu was still able to shut it down.
And that was a huge payload as well. I mean, Overdrive by far is one of the best ones that you can use along with Active Candle, kind of your power players when it comes down to the objective. But defense kind of turning potentially into offense here for the side of Gosu. They're going to try to pinch this player. That is going to be John. Shuts him down. JCap firing away in response, but it seems that Prasini is going to fall. So good play there for EnVyUs, kind of watching all ins and outs as they're able to shut that one down. Because Warrior spotted someone, but it seems that player actually rotates into blue. So 3 minutes left in this game. Can EnVyUs try to close this one out? Could this be the final 3 minutes of this entire series, rather? GoSu trying to prevent that one, as it seems that Gunless is actually going to rock his break here. Tries to spot someone, rocks the rewind, but he's not able to find it as 3 go down yet again for the side of GoSu. Every time they try to get a team push, it seems side spawning on this side has been able to shut it down. So a lot of defensive plays being made on the side that EnVyUs is currently on. Yeah,
they're dropping like flies. I'm trying to see exactly what GoSu's planning, but every time you switch to one, there's just someone from Team EnVyUs mowing them down. There we go. The drone's going to get thrown off of the map. Apathy still has access to that rewind. Let's see if he can try and make a bit of a play with it as JCap opens things up with a 2-piece. Getting a little bit of deja vu here with some of the stuff he's been able to do throughout the first half. They can just keep that up. Apathy, great line of sight on multiple players. Osa taking down 2. One more engagement. That player's going to run away. He wants no part of that. Trying to double back and misdirect him a little bit. Arcees finally gets the better of him. However, there's a trade kill. Pristini with the drone in hand, but an EnVyUs player in his line of sight. He accidentally picks up the drone mid-gunfight, and John is able to come out on top.
Tennis going on in the game of Uplink. It's Call of Duty basketball, but we'll see if potentially if GoSu can try to get this team pushed out. John finds him from behind. He's not able to shut them down on the wall run, as it's going to be a little bit of a chase going down as all players on the wall run. It seems Gunless the last alive, and he might actually be able to escape, but unfortunately does drop shortly after. Nice reaction time there from, I believe, John, but kills going down constantly inside the blue and ice tunnel. See that Slasher might have found
he's in position.
An open spot here. It looks like this is going to be a 2-point dunk, so a massive play for the side of EnVyUs. They still have the active camo as well, and the rewind from Apathy, so we'll see if GoSu can potentially respond here, as it looks like there are...
Oh.
What is John doing?
Let's see if he can... Let's see. This is a true test of your wall run ability. He's not able to connect with all of them.
Good effort, John. Good effort. I appreciate it.
Good attempt there. So now we see Apathy back towards mid, trying to maintain a little bit of control here. The drone, though, still in the hands of Gunless. Just beside him on robots. They have no idea he's here. He comes up through Skinny, finds 1 kill. Gunless is able to take him down before picking the drone back up. Going for the 1-point play. John with the 2-piece is able to shut that right down. And now Team EnVyUs has to hold on to this for either a minute or score and just keep that lead strong for them to close out this series. And if you're a GosuCrew fan, you want them to respond within the next 45 seconds. Otherwise, it's curtains, and that's a loss in their pool.
John has been making countless major plays for the boys in blue here in this game number 3 especially, and rather than the entire series. But Pristini actually finds 3 of his own, and now Arcees has an opportunity to make the drone play happen. This is a 2-point game, as only 1 dunk to tie this game up as 3 go down. It looks like Drama and Arcees are going to have their rig. Slasher does as well. I believe that is active camo for Slasher. That's going to be a big one. He really just wants to grab the drone and try to get out of there. It could work out in his favor, but time starting to tick down. Arcees actually rocks his rig as well, and Drama does as well in succession. Can they try to make a last-second opportunity happen? Arcees, you have an opportunity to make it forward. Can you dunk it in? He's able
there it is.
to get it in the last few seconds. This game is not over yet. We're going to overtime.
4 seconds to spare. Arcees is able to run it through Skinny with that dunk. The 2-point play, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to give us a tied score 5-5. And if you're just tuning in, I'm Fox. This is Landon. We have Team EnVyUs versus GosuCrew in a map 3. What could have been the end of the series because of EnVyUs' 2-0 lead. We see that GosuCrew is able to come up clutch in the last few seconds, force that tie game, and stay alive in this series for just a little bit longer. At least another 5 minutes, right? Somewhere around
Potentially,
there.
We'll see. Obviously, EnVyUs still having the active camos. That's something that's definitely going to be in their favor. So Riggs on the side of EnVyUs definitely going to have a little bit of advantage when it comes down to overtime. Active camo, Slasher, a major player, but JCap and Apathy finding 2 off the break. Pristini responds there as well. So 4 go down in the lobby. Pristini still trying to make his way forward, but no drone grab. Just trying to get some map control, but Apathy quickly foils that plan.
Yeah, and really right there, we saw Pristini's multi-kills keeping the team alive. EnVyUs starting off with those 2 kills could have been a huge advantage and an easy play for them. Apathy turns and burns with the Osa there.
That hurt to watch.
Slasher's been dead twice in a row now. We haven't gotten to see him make use of that camo, but we do see the reactive armor get popped from John. Staying alive around Skinny is going to be huge for his team. Just that survivability factor from the payload is huge. Slasher not able to make too much happen over here, but he is the front line for the drone carriers behind him. 1 enemy. He's the escort. Needs to take him down. He gets past the drone.
The actional pass goes through.
An incredibly untimely pass to John.
And in some ways,
is going to work out perfectly for GosuCrew.
That use of the reactive armor from John is useless at this point. So they end up wasting 1 rig. They had a perfect position in some ways for Slasher to make that 1-point opportunity happen with the active camo. Now it's going to be the side of GosuCrew, who has an opportunity to make a scoring opportunity happen here in overtime. Arcees can go for the 2-point dunk. Actually runs into that player, but it won't matter. 1 minute and 16 will be where the clock stops. So good play here coming in the end from the side of GosuCrew.
And really, I got to give a lot of the credit. Of course, we had Drama, who for most of the game was able to start off with quite a number of kills for his team, and is still maintaining that presence and that pressure for his team. However, I want to talk about Pristini and Arcides, the duo. At the moment, they've really been coming up huge with their multi-kills, just in such clutch moments that really just turn around the momentum of the entire play.
We talk about clutch plays. That's what a lot of the plays they've been making, and the reason why they end up taking those 2 rounds in search of destroy have been due to that. Of course, uplink.
Shame they couldn't do it 4 more times.
Exactly right, but uplink at overtime works a little bit different in this game. Of course, it is a constant stopwatch. So if EnVyUs is able to score in under the time that GosuCrew did, they will still have another opportunity. We'll go back and forth until a team doesn't score in the same time that the opposition did. But it seems that EnVyUs is trying to make slight work of that earlier score. They need a 2-point dunk. Active camo still earned for Slasher. Throws out that nade. 3 going to be here in backside blue.
He knows he can't make a play here. There's way too many people just around the corner. He's just trying to keep the drone alive and wait for his team to get closer. You can see he completely rerouted the drone from bunker over towards ship side. The more advantageous place to have the drone, and the more advantageous place for John to find a 3-piece and Slasher to end the round with a dunk. Oh my God, John's an animal.
John is an absolute destroyer. Finds 1, finds 2, finds 3. John making countless major plays, and it really wouldn't have surprised me if we would have found that kill as well.
It's not countless. There's 3. There were 3 of them right there.
But obviously, it will be Team EnVyUs walking away, I believe, with this one, as it's going to be a hot 3-0 over on TGC. Valiant effort from the side of GosuCrew. Had some really good opportunities here and there, but in the end, the overwhelming slaying opportunities that EnVyUs was able to provide rendered them a little bit at a disadvantage for sure.
Yeah, and what we saw was just a lot of both sides really having to respond to the amazing pressure that some of these players are able to put out with their multi-kills. John putting up quite a number of them for himself. JCap with his flanks in the first couple of minutes of the match. And on the side of Gosu, as I mentioned, when we got in overtime, just Arcides and Pristini able to come up so huge in response to man disadvantages. So a well-fought battle on both sides. However, Team EnVyUs coming up on top in uplink. They're able to close out the series 3-0.
Indeed they are, and of course that's not going to end GosuCrew's